Greetings, greetings, welcome, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, grand rising, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome, welcome to this broadcast. I am your host, Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. I am a coach, educator. I provide educational information for my clients and students and community supporters to understand how to tap into their soul purpose. So I am honored to have you here this morning. Before I continue with the show, I want to give you some housekeeping. If you are not already subscribed to my other platforms, please do so by clicking on my link tree in my bio. And for those of you who are watching on the other platforms, you'll see my link tree on the screen. It's a link tree /dynamic Daphne. Linktree /dynamic Daphne. You can also visit my website, daphneclark.com. You can also, when you click on my link tree, it will take you to my Facebook, my Twitter, my YouTube, my Facebook pages. So kindly connect with me there. I am also on Twitch. I am also on Threads. I am everywhere. I am doing my best to show up everywhere so that I can add value. I am here live with you officially from Mondays through Fridays, 5 days a week. Why am I doing this, you may ask? Because it is my intention to add value and to help you to understand about the importance of tapping into your soul purpose. So I do my best to provide you with different educational information so that you can have access to that. Now, for this morning, we are planning to have a 60 minutes show this morning. I would hope that you will be interactive. I'm going to be asking you to share your experiences at a certain point, and I hope that you will be willing to do that. Now, anyone who has a burning question, we will be doing what's known as hot seat coaching, when we'll ask you to state your problem. And I'm going to give you one solution for you to use to resolve that problem. After that, you have the opportunity to reach out to me, and I will spend 5 or 10 minutes more at no charge to you, and we will delve deeper into that problem. And after that, if you so desire, and if I realize that I can help you long term, I will also share with you what that looks like. All right? I also have my first book, Conversation on Success. It's a collaborative book The book costs $19.95 and shipping and handling is $6. You can buy a copy and you can pay for it using my Cash App. Cash App is in my bio. It's Daphne Clarke-Hudson and the $sign in front of that. And you get an autographed copy of the book mailed to your address, which you will put your address in the Cash App payment. All right? That is the conversation on success. This one is not on Amazon, but all my other 7 or the other 6 is on Amazon. So you go on Amazon and you put my name in the search. You will see all of my other books come up on Amazon. All right. So again, I'm asking you, write your question down, and when the time comes around for the hot seat coaching, we will let you know. And if I have some moderators, they will choose whose question gets answered. If none is there, I will do the choosing. All right? So that is it for now. Let us delve into the topic for today. We are going to be talking about embracing mindfulness, a path for a more fulfilled life. Mindfulness is a transformative practice of the way we use our minds to enhance the quality of our lives. Mindfulness is an up and rising trend that folks are understanding. I, as an individual, have so much power within myself, and that there are certain practices that I can commit to and get to change the trajectory of my life. So long. Sorry. Oh, hello, Jay. How are you? Pleasure to see you. Thank you for coming. Tap the screen and share the live for me. It's no bother to say hi, King. It's quite all right. Thank you for greeting. All right? So, I want to welcome you to this episode this morning. I wanted to share, those of you who have been coming here regularly, you know that I consult with the universe on what to talk about. Because for each and every time that I go live, somebody always shows up and say, this is what I needed. This is what I needed. So I do my best to allow myself to be used, to be channel the information that is needed for you. Yes, I have guidance. I have talking points, but as I go through, the Spirit is also giving me additional information based on who needs what. And I don't know you all from a hole in the wall. So when the Spirit say this, allow me to be honest. There are times when I'm going, I don't want to say those things. And Spirit has to remind me that I'm only a channel through which the messages flow. All right? So with that being said, I want you to sit back, participate, get involved, and be willing to share what your experience or experiences are as it deals with mindfulness. You don't have to be extremely religious or spiritual to practice mindfulness. All that is required of you is your willingness to be consistent. Are you willing to sit and be still? Are you willing enough to say, this is what I've been thinking about. I have never thought this way before, but this thing been resting on my mind. It's a reason why. Because when you begin to practice mindfulness, you're beginning to tap into your higher self. So instead of rushing to consult with other individuals who understand nothing about your journey, you can be still and go inside and consult with your higher self. Does that make sense? You all got it? We got to be, in order to practice mindfulness, we must be fully aware. Hey, Queen, how are you doing? We got to be so fully aware. It's good to see you. We got to be willing not to be judgmental of others. Yes, you know, every time I push it, I forgot you're back at work. So I know when your phone rings, you're going to be gone. But I appreciate seeing you here. We have to understand that when we are present, we are present with ourselves. You know, we encounter individuals and you see them and you are saying, hey, 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 because they are not present with themselves. Sometimes you hear people say they are out in la la land. They are distracted with every aspect of who they are. Many of them are afraid to be present in themselves and to understand about themselves. So for those reasons, they are not conscious about the life that they are living. So when we decide to practice mindfulness, we have to be willing to come out of our comfort zone, and we have to understand that I'm not ordinary, and I can no longer stand for the status quo. In order for me to get to the level that I am, I got to be willing to go further. And what does it mean by going further? We got to be willing to go inside and clear out everything that is going on. It's like we're doing spring cleaning. And by the time we clean out all of that old residue, we are now able to put a fresh coating. And now we are going to be ready to adopt a mindfulness lifestyle. Now, I'm going to ask Mona to let me know when we can play that video.
You may have heard this word mindfulness. It's become something of a buzz phrase of late. So I'm going to give you one simple, serviceable definition, which is this. Mindfulness is the ability to know what's happening in your head at any given moment without getting carried away by it. Imagine how useful this could be. Just as an example, you're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off in traffic. How do you normally react? I think most of us, we normally react by having a thought, which is, I'm pissed. And then what happens next? You immediately, habitually, reflexively inhabit that thought. You actually become pissed. There's no buffer between the stimulus and your reaction. With just a little bit of mindfulness, in that same situation, you might notice my chest is buzzing, my ears are turning red, I'm having a starburst of self-righteous thoughts, I'm getting angry. But you don't necessarily have to act on it and chase that person down the road, screaming at them with your kids in the back of the car thinking you've gone nuts. Now, you might be thinking, don't I need to get angry sometimes? Aren't I justified? I would say yes, but probably not as much as you think. The proposition here is not that you should be rendered by mindfulness into some lifeless, non-judgmental blob. The proposition is that you should learn how to respond wisely to things that happen to you, rather than just reacting blindly. And that, my friends, is a superpower. How do you get it? The way to get it is through meditation. I believe that meditation and mindfulness are the next big public health revolution. In the 1940s, if you told somebody you were going running, they would have said, who's chasing you? But then what happened next? The scientists swooped in, they showed that physical exercise is really good for you, and now all of us do it, and if we don't, we feel guilty about it. And that's where I think we're headed with mindfulness and meditation. It's going to join the pantheon of no-brainers like brushing your teeth, eating well, and taking the meds your doctor prescribed for you. Let me just close by saying, mindfulness is not going to solve all of your problems. It's not going to render your life a nonstop parade of unicorns and rainbows. Nonetheless, this is a superpower, and one that is accessible by you immediately.
You see, okay, all right. So now, what did I do? Give me a second. Please bear with me. I mess up my thing here. Okay. All right. So now you have, it was a humorous little video that showed us about mindfulness. You know how we flip people off on the highway when they are street, when they bad drivers. When we adopt to mindful living, instead of flipping them off, we get into and we take a deep breath and we say, go ahead. Go ahead. Before that, we would get into some road rage or something. Maybe you are not like that, but you sure know somebody who does that. So it shows that I like what they say in the video about running. That when in the early stages, when people started running, the first thing would come to somebody's mind is to ask you, who is running after you? And they use the scenario with the mindfulness. Yes, things are going to happen. Don't you ever think that once you adopt mindfulness living, you are no longer going to be faced with the challenges and the struggles. They are still going to be coming into our lives. But the way we deal with them is what will affirm to us whether we are adopting mindfulness living. Let's go to number 3. The signs of mindfulness. Let's talk about, there are many researches which I'm not going to get into, but in your spare time, you can go on YouTube, you can go on Google, and you can search about mindfulness. Listen, you do not need to be a guru to adopt this lifestyle. You are going to realize how supporting to your life mindfulness is. It's going to help you to be more calm with your families, your neighbors. You are going to be more conscious as to the way that you respond to conversations. You are going to be able to weigh your responses before you do that. So mindfulness is controlled by our minds. And once we begin to do the work, we are actually reconditioning the neurons in our brains. So after we begin to do the correct things, our brain, our subconscious mind is going to be documenting it. So it's not like you have to remember that, oh, this is what I do now, this is what I do next. Keep practicing. And as you practice, your subconscious is going to retain what are the new behaviors you are implementing in your life. Mindfulness has a great impact over our minds. And this is why the way that it affects our brain, this is why we got to make sure what we are feeding in there. We have to look on what natural pathways we are utilizing. I love to go out into the park where you have a lot of nature. I used to do it a lot when I lived in Connecticut. Now that I'm living someplace else, the truth is, I have not been going to the park as much. But when I would go to the park, I would spend a lot of time in the gardens. You know, they have different gardens there. And I would go there. They have the little cement benches. And I would sit there subconsciously having a conversation with each and everything that surrounds me. There were times when I closed my eyes in quiet meditation with the things that surrounds me. I used to go with a friend sometime, and she loves to walk. I say, go, we'll see each other back at the car. because I spent my time by the water. Sometime it would have the water sprinkler coming up, and it had certain sound. And just sitting there, it gives me such a great balance. It helps me to still my mind. Instead of its racing, it levels it off and it stills your mind. You listen to the birds and you listen to the sound and you program all of those things into your mind as well. Thank you for the follow. You realize that the quality of your entire life is changing. You find out that you are no longer being stressed out. There were times in your life when the dog would spill the water and it would really get under your skin. You'd get so angry. Somebody would honk a horn. It would really get under your skin. But as you begin to understand about how mindfulness impacts your entire body, your entire system begins to change. You got to pay attention. Mindfulness practices calls for full attention. And as we adopt each new ways, we begin to be grateful for that. And we say things like, I remember when I used to. And you know what all the used to's are. And you can say to yourself, I have come this far only by faith. My faith in knowing that if I begin to do the work, if I begin to adopt to the mindfulness habits and practices, my entire life will change, not only for my benefit, but for the benefit of everyone who surrounds me. Now let us go to number 4. What are the benefits? These are just some of the benefits of mindfulness. Mindfulness, I am speaking from my personal experiences. And those of you who are on the live, you can jot yours in the comments as well. Because I like to share my practical experiences. This way you all can relate to that instead of thinking, oh, that is textbook information and that is going to be too hard. Those of you who are into the textbook procedures, go ahead and do that. I have found out that one of my biggest benefits about adopting mindfulness living is that it keeps me mellow. I like to use the word mellow. And what do I mean by that? I am calm. I am easygoing. I don't get off my rockers. I'm not cursing out people. Why? Because years ago I realized when something annoys me, not only am I supposed to count for 10, but I understand the importance and benefits of using my breath. I breathe, and sometimes you hear me telling people, just breathe. Why? Because the minute I take a deep breath, it brings me right back into mindfulness. So by the time I take 5 deep breaths, all of that anger is gone. So I encourage you to start doing that. You got to start trying different things. And you know what? The minute we begin trying those things and working on ourselves, the folks around us, they are beginning to observe, hey, Monique, that you are different. And they'll say things like, there's something going on with her. What is it? Or something going on with him. I don't know what it is. We don't always have to tell people what's going on with us. I find that it is better to show them. Hey, Linda, how are you? Welcome. Mindfulness also helps me emotionally. Do you know a lot of times things happen, things that mindfulness keeps me in line on task. Yeah, somebody on Facebook says, mindfulness keeps me in line and on task. It also make me think before I speak. Powerful. Thank you so much. That's Miss Parker over on Facebook. Yes. Each and every one of us, once we adopt a mindfulness lifestyle, we find out that we are actually enhancing the quality of our lives. Especially if you are a parent that raising children. You know how our kids, they are so creative when they want something and you say no. They have 100 different ways to ask you the same question. Has anyone ever noticed that? 100 ways. They're gonna come around, and you're thinking with yourself, what mindfulness help you to do is not to expose their trickery. You don't have to say to them, oh, Jonathan, I know you just asked me the same question 10 times. You can sit there and you can just smile within your mindfulness self and say, yeah, he think he getting over me, but I got this under control. Like Miss Parker says, mindfulness helps her to think before she talk. And Lord knows, you know, there's a saying in Jamaica, you need to put a bridle over your mouth. Hey, trust us, Jamaicans, we have some expressions. And mindfulness also helps our creativity. I love this new thing that they have. I have not attended one yet, but they have some new parties that they are doing. You remember like how they used to have Tupperware parties? Now they are having sip and paint, I think it's called. And that's where you go and you learn to create your own image. You can choose what you want and you go with your image. They put the paint on the table. They give you a blank canvas and you go in. And I've not participated in that, but I know the depth of mindfulness because I have done this in freestyle writing. Freestyle writing is when you get your journal, a pen, and you want to empty out and you flush out and you sit and you close your eyes a second and you just start writing. And I always surprise myself to the depth of which my freestyle writing went. And I know it's all because of my mindfulness. I have clients, I have friends, I have associates who have shared that my life is on the upright path. And I said, what do you mean? The things that used to puzzle me doesn't puzzle me anymore. The things that used to worry me does not worry me anymore. When I have a problem, I can sit in the stillness with myself and 99.9 times I am able to resolve the issue. And I point back, I said, does that have anything to do with your new adoption of mindfulness? And the answer is always a resounding yes. We have so much wealth of information inside of our subconscious that will guide us until eternity if we allow our accumulation of the information to be on a positive side. There are people who has used mindfulness to transform jobs. There are individuals I know that has used mindfulness lifestyle to transform relationships. I hear people running to this place, to that place, and the other place to do this, that, and the other. I'm telling you, if you are with somebody you know that the universe brought in your life and you know that is the person that was created for you, and things is slightly shaky, you can Begin to use your mindfulness lifestyle to transform that relationship. You do not need to get into any trickery. The same way you pray, the same way you fast, all of those things are part of mindfulness living. Do not allow anybody to tell you that a mindfulness lifestyle is evil. It is not evil. Our Creator gave us that power to tap into ourselves so that we can use that for the results and the impact that we need, and for the influence that we also need. Let us go to number 5. Mindfulness techniques. One of the prevalent mindfulness techniques are guided meditation. YouTube is filled with those things. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Some people has advanced themselves still. They are doing 1 hour. Adopt yourself to what works for you. You can, in the beginning, go on YouTube and utilize the guided meditation. What are you looking for? Are you looking for healing? If you are looking for healing, there are guided meditations there that can provide that. Are you looking for relaxation? There are meditation. Are you looking for calmness? There are meditation. In the beginning, I am directing you to utilize the ones that are provided for you. However, as you develop your mindfulness and you're able to stimulate your higher self, you are now in a position to record your own meditation in your own voice. I have a friend, she now went home, and she has a system at her house. She was a healer as well. And she has a system. The minute she opens her door, there is a button she touches, and you hear the meditative music playing all through her house. Every nook and cranny is always consumed by that energy and that music. She used to live in Atlanta. And I tell you, the first time I went to Sylvia Sultan Fuss's house, it was like I was walking on air. She have a lot of quartz crystal. That was my first time sleeping in a waterbed. And in that waterbed, it has music playing. And let me tell you something, that is an experience I only had when I went to Sylvia's house. I forgot I drove 13 hours to get there because my entire body was so calm. It was like I was just so calm, like I was on air with the music and all the energy that's going on. And at that time, I was not attuned totally in mindfulness. I was just learning about all of those things. But because in my early stages of this journey, I was able to see the things at work. This is why I said, I am definitely including this into my lifestyle. For the times when I've been sick for whatever the sickness is, I tap into the benefits of mindfulness. They have changed the way I think. Mindfulness lifestyle has allowed me to be more accepting of people. And yes, mindfulness lifestyle has helped me to totally erase my judgment of others. Erase my judgment of others. Mindfulness living has allowed me to be at a place where I can look at everyone and say, I see you as a human soul. It doesn't matter what other things society affixed to you, what other labels has been affixed to you. I see you as a human soul. And let me tell you something. That is an amazing place to be. Amazing place for me to be. So I encourage each and every one of you, continue to do the work, and you are going to see the result. Where are we? Are we number 6? Okay, Lord. Overcoming challenges. Overcoming challenges. There are misconceptions around mindfulness living. Folks will tell you it is not of God, it is evil. People has also said to me, have you talked to your pastor about it? And people will try every negative thing to tear you apart, but you got to have your belief in yourself in knowing that what you are doing is universally correct. You got to understand that it's not everything that you are applying in your life you're going to take to others, because what? People do not understand. Some of them will never understand. Why? Because they are not opening themselves up to get new information. Some of them, whatever they learn at Sunday school, and yes, we all went to Sunday school, and we all learn at Sunday school. But listen to me. Can you imagine at my age 75, and I was still stuck only on what I learned at Sunday school? And ask yourself the question, you are, whatever age you are, can you imagine if you have not learned anything since you left Sunday school? So read for yourself, read for yourself, read for yourself. Research for yourself, research, research. We know not because we do not research, because there's so much information out there. So much information out there. One of the other obstacles that you'll need to overcome is for those of you that says, my mind is always so busy. I can't get it quiet. My mind is running a marathon. It's a lie that you're telling yourself to procrastinate getting the advantage of a mindfulness lifestyle. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. If you think your mind is busy, start with 5 or 10 minutes of mindfulness where you sit down, and just be quiet. Just be still. Turn your phone off. Just be still. And when you claims your mind starts running, gradually, get it in alignment. Be still. Breathe. Get into the habit of breathing. Use our diaphragm. Lord, many of us, we are breathing from up here. We are forgetting to use our diaphragm. We forget that is why we have our diaphragm. We got to begin to utilize our breath. And as we utilize our breath, it's going to help us to still that mind that we are saying is too busy. We all have hectic lifestyles. Some of us work 3 jobs, and we come home, we have a family. However, we can use mindfulness into our daily lifestyle. Schedule intermittent times for stillness and for quietness. Schedule the time in. You do not have to use 30 minutes or 40 minutes. You have 5 minutes, I want you to use it. You have 3, I want you to use it. I can tell you from personal experience. Once you start to get 5 and 10 minutes in, you're thinking, oh, that was already, you set your timer and you're thinking, was that already 5 minutes? Was that already 10 minutes? Then you add 5 more. Before you know it, you are at 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. Never be too busy. Never claim you have too much of a hectic lifestyle that you cannot include mindfulness. As you begin to work on yourselves, you are going to begin to plant the seeds in your life. And how are you going to do this? Remember, we do not own people. We do not have control over them. But one way that we can do, we can write 3x5 cards. 3x5 cards. We can write those things and we can post them over our homes. Why? Other members of our family will see those things. They probably won't say anything to you, but they are going to observe the difference in you. And because they see that you're calmer, you're kinder, you're more loving, now they are going to begin to adopt those things into their lives. And do not be surprised when one day they'll come to you and ask, Mama, Dad, what those cards about? About a month ago, I was talking to my darling son in Jamaica on the phone one Sunday morning. And he said something that blew my socks off my feet. He said to me, Mommy, when I have struggles and obstacles and I get into some hard times, he said, Mommy, the truth is, it's not my faith that gets me through it. It's not my belief in myself that gets me through it. He said, Mommy, every time those things happen, I keep thinking back, how would Mommy handle this? And he said, Mommy, I always remember when things happen to you and how you used to handle it. He brought up one time when somebody broke in my pink Mary Kay Buick, stole all of my Mary Kay product, and stole the one mink coat that I had. He said, Mommy, I was a little boy, but I was crying so much. And you said to me, Giovanni, come on in the car, we'll be all right. And he said, I always think back, how would Mommy handle this? And this might be your story as well. We cannot make our family do things. We have to just live and let them experience through us what we are doing. Because we as parents, our guardians, we have our shortcomings too. But these other people, our kids, our spouses, our relatives, they are watching us from a distance. They are watching us from a distance. And we just have to keep living in the right way. What number are we? Do we have any questions? Okay. Any questions for us to resolve the hot seat coaching? Oh, well, we have one person over there. Any questions, type it in the box, please. Type it in the box. Any questions, please? Any questions on Facebook? Any questions? Am I supposed to touch that? Okay, that's the same thing. Okay. Okay. Any questions? So, last call. Any questions? All right. So we have no questions. Thank you for the follow. All right. So let's just briefly go over what we talked about. This morning we were talking about embracing mindfulness, a path for a more fulfilled life. We covered what is mindfulness. We talk about the science behind mindfulness. We talk about the benefit of mindfulness. We talk about mindfulness techniques, overcoming challenges, how to apply mindfulness in real life. And we gave you an opportunity to ask questions, and we wanted to do a hot seat coaching. We did not get anyone. So we look forward to when you will come with your questions. Again, I am your host, Dr. Daphne Clarke-Hudson. Remember, you can text me your phone number and your email address, 203-885-5093. I will reach out to you, and anyone that texts me and email me, you have the opportunity to consult with me 5 or 10 minutes at no charge. And we'll get through as many questions that we can get through during that time. If you realize that you got some value from that, then we are going to be able to talk about what it looks like to work in person with me. So long, everybody. I will see you in the morning. Bye. Thank you, Miss Mona. Bye, everybody. Bye, TikTok. Bye, Twitch. Bye, everybody. Love you, family. Bye.